Again. Hey,
How you doing,
everybody.
John?
Hey, Andrew.
Didn't I
He's Andrew
see
Kavanagh.
some force that you have? Don't you have a force behind you? What's that force?
I do. It's the force of rock and roll. It's not good.
Wow.
I have the power.
It happens when you say rock and roll.
That's right. I summoned the gods.
I like that. Cool. Nice. So here we are, everybody, for Photoshop and Lightroom
Classic.
favorite features
Favorite features with Andrew Kavanagh.
and John Williams.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Both community experts.
huzzah. And we are here to pump you up with Photoshop.
So yeah, it's going to be a good one. Take turns jumping back and forth between Photoshop favorite features and Lightroom favorite features. And just to let people know, it doesn't necessarily mean overly advanced features either. So, I mean, there are some features that are our favorites that are pretty easy to use. And so this should be a good session for everybody from beginner to advanced. So,
Yeah.
let's see, we got people coming in. So we got Lance from New Zealand. Good to see
All
you.
right. Oh, what time is it in New Zealand? My goodness. Good to have you, man.
Andrea, Happy Teach is here. Good to see you here.
All right, we can get started.
Hope you're
Right
feeling
in here.
good. Feeling
Hope you're
better.
feeling good. Yeah, right. Hope you're feeling better.
So yes, welcome everybody. Where are you watching from?
Got New Zealand. We got the DC area. We got Lavon from the city that never sleeps.
Good day, mates from New York City.
Oh, I'm confused now. I didn't know she was Australian. Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
I saw something really nice about New York. There was the it's not the Create Now, but some other Adobe event, and it was at these new pier, like on the piers, they have these new buildings, and it looked really good. And it looks like it's going to be quite the good with the hors d'oeuvres and wine and whatnot. So
how fun is that?
Fun evening, yeah.
Oh,
so
man.
12 p.m. for Lance.
It's 12 p.m. Okay.
And then Steven's here from Prescott Valley, Arizona. Andrea from Maryland. Let's see, someone from Sanford, Florida. Michael is here. Hello, guys.
Michael is here.
Another community expert.
Nice.
And
big time.
Hey, Levon Hall. Okay. Well, we got lots to go over.
Good crowd. Quality.
Before we begin, let me just state anyone who is watching from the Facebook groups, please give StreamYard permission to show your name and profile pics so that I'll be able to credit you when you comment or ask questions. That's right underneath the live. You just scroll down a little bit till you see the link, StreamYard.com/Facebook. Give that a click, give permissions, jump on back. And so we got greetings from the city of Manizales, Colombia, having a cup of hot coffee. Nice.
Sounds delightful. Got my cup of tea.
And Lance has just been playing with neural filters applied to a Firefly generated image.
Oh, yeah?
Might have to have John show some neural filters, even though he was just going to focus on.
Oh, you don't tease me now. You get me into with neural filters, I just go crazy.
And Levon says, I just act like I'm from Australia.
Right. I'm going to get you, mate. Good on you.
Tim Tams. Remember the Tim Tams we got from Tams? It was nice.
Ooh, Tim Tams. The Tim Tam Slam.
The Tim Tam Club. And Michael says neural filters are incredible.
They are incredible, just like Tim Tams.
Tim Tams, yummy. So lots to go over. You want me to go first? You want to go first, John? What?
I think you're the host with the most, and you should go first. That's just.
Oh, good. You said host.
I have no basis of that.
Good that you said host, not hostess.
No, not a Twinkie or a ding dong. Hostess, get it? Okay, never mind.
Okay.
All right, moving on.
So here we are. You can see my screen, right?
I do. I see it. It looks beautiful.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to go over is generative fill, generative expand type of examples. So here's an image. Image is a little dark. Maybe I'll do a quick. So first little tip is when you're in Photoshop, Command M brings up the curves, Control M, I believe, on a PC. And I'm just going to lighten this a bit just so I can see the image a little bit more. I should have probably made a new layer of it. So let me do that too. So if you see background first, you just simply do Command J on a Mac, Control J on a PC. You get a new copy of it, layer 1. And then now when I do my curves, it will be on that topmost layer.
It's brighter now.
Pretty dark, but it's all right. So yeah, so before, after, just a little bit brighter.
Yeah.
Okay, so generative fill. So go to my lasso tool, and I just want to do a loose selection around the subject. And you want to go around the subject so it can read the general features that are around there for it to search from and rebuild. So I do that. And then you'll see is the contextual taskbar. I think they should rename it to just the taskbar, don't you, John?
I think so too. Yeah. I mean, contextual sounds cool, but
It's too much to pronounce,
saying contextual can be kind of difficult sometimes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tongue-tied. So I'm just going to
Contextual.
call it the taskbar for now. So in the
Yeah.
taskbar, you'll see it says generative fill. And so I just click that. And then the first thing it says is, what would you like to generate? So if I wanted to replace it with somebody else or some other, an animal or a clown or a dragon or whatever, I could type that in there and hit generate. If you don't type anything in and you just hit generate.
What happens, Andrew? What happens?
We don't have our magic wands today.
Oh, that's right. Oh, shoot. I just have this lousy pen.
It's not Firefly, but it's
No.
close enough. It's got the same type of.
It's not a magic pen either.
So you'll see, and then
Ooh.
what will happen is your properties panel will pop up, and it'll create 3 variations. So it's the first one, second one, third one, and you'll see that it's pretty good. Like you can't even tell that there was someone there before. Builds up the clouds, builds up the mountain, and builds up this ledge pretty nicely. It never snows here. Took one of my landscape photos, made it a wintry. Waiting to see who in my camera club first knows the location of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So and then you'll notice here on the right. So let me zoom in a little bit. You have a generative fill layer that is automatically created when you do that, and you also have a built-in layer mask. So in case you wanted to erase parts of it, and so that's the first step. And then I wanted to just first show just a series of going through images of how great it does with that generative fill. So here's another image, kid strangely holding on to a ledge.
Hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, strange. But, how well will it read the background kind of fence or building, and then this edge, and then all this textured pattern? So I just thought I'd kind of make a challenge by going through certain images to see how well it does with generative fill.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to go over the shadow that is created. So I go over there, extend around, go back up, and that connects. There's a little bit of shadow cast over here, so I might hold the shift key and just add that to it. Boom. So it's one selection. There it is, generative fill. Just click again in the taskbar. No need to type in what I'd like to generate. Just hit generate. And let's see how well it does. What were you going to say, John?
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I love how it will, Photoshop will just interpret what you're going for if you're trying to get rid of a subject and you just don't type anything. And I mean, it figures it out for you, and it does that.
Well, so in this case, it's supposed to. Right. So in this case, it's supposed to just remove it and rebuild that kind of metal wall. Looks like a skateboarding ramp.
He's in timeout.
And I guess it did read that it was a skateboarding ramp because it looks like they created a strange person with a bit of a skateboard.
Right. Yeah.
And then here's scary person with created a new ledge.
She's like, okay.
Okay, so I find these kind of weird and a bit disturbing because I just thought it was going to remove it.
Right.
So I'm just going to hit generate again, which you can see I did right in the properties panel. There's a little progress bar up top.
I'm wondering if it's seeing there's a little bit of darkness, a little shadow. If you look.
Yeah, it did it again.
Seeing that, maybe if you make your selection bigger, I don't know. You know? I don't know. It's not always perfect, folks.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Yeah. It can be kinda
Okay, so
surreal.
if I go back to the layer mask and I just command click, then it pops up my um, selection again. I'm just going to
Cool, cool.
delete that generative fill layer itself. It didn't take with delete, so I'm just going to drag it to the trash can. So now we're back to this. I'm just going to try it again. Hit generate.
Yeah, why
See if
not?
there's anything. If not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take John's lead and go back and change the extend the selection a little bit and see if that helps at all.
Mm. Random shadows. Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
Okay, so now it did, at least for the first one, get
Yeah,
rid of the character.
yeah, we got a winner.
Then it created a weird jumble of people.
A little ensemble of
So
elves.
2 out of 3, it created,
Yeah,
the
uh-huh.
background, which is good. And that's pretty much what I wanted to do, just show that.
Terrific.
Um,
Yay.
let's see. That's one. That's another. So yeah, here's another challenge. So I'm just going
Mm,
to, with the lasso tool, just see how well it does. I'm just very curious. I'm just trying to see. Will it pick up the ocean nicely? And there's even these little branches on the beach, on the
yeah,
sand.
yeah.
Okay,
Although the subjects are adorable.
that's cute, right? Taking a walk on the beach. So yeah, hit generative fill, generate, and let it do its magic.
Magic. Have to believe we are magic. Nothing can stand.
Wow, that's pretty amazing, huh?
Fantastic. Hey.
You absolutely cannot tell there was anything there beforehand.
Nope.
And when we click, and then the thing that's really cool is I like this though. Like if I zoom in, so if I turn this off, you'll see like where their feet were, right?
Right.
And it's following this kind of line of where the beach, the top of the beach hits before it ascends down towards the ocean. Um, but what it'll do is it'll create a series of things to kind of take over that. So here's
Mm,
kind of like a little bit of a mound, and then there's a different one that it created, and then there's even a third one. Pretty creative, it kind of
yeah.
samples the same kind of textures and
Yeah.
branches and sticks and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
pretty
That
nice.
that to me is the magical part. I don't understand that, but,
Yeah, it's
you
well
know,
done.
yeah, it's great.
And then for the last one, I wanted to have fun with this one. So this one I did want. Oops, don't no nudging. For this one, I did want to get rid of, say, the girl, and then for fun's sake, just add something else. So
Cool.
let's
Here we
see how
go.
well it does. So first, I just loosely go around, and then of course get the shadow. So that could be the hard part. I have to get all of her shadow,
Get the shadow right, yeah.
and then go back up, around, and just a little bit of the back of the
That
head.
looks like your neck of the woods there, Andrew.
Yeah, right? Looks like Santa Monica or something, right?
Uh-huh.
California weather. Hit generate. Let's see how good it does with this.
And seconds later,
1, 2, 3.
magic
That's
ensues.
that's pretty great, right? I mean,
What? Okay, that's good.
and then if I click the other ones, it
Yeah.
even has like, say, the second one even added like some of the kind of paint that was on the sidewalk.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay.
Yeah, very subtle changes, but
Yeah.
pretty successful. Yeah.
Fantastic
And then the
job.
tree, and it, rebuilt the tree in the
We built
back.
a
It was
tree
great.
back there. Yeah, yeah. See, that's crazy.
I can't
That's
even choose which one I like best. I like
I know,
all
right?
together. So that's that one. And then I did want to have some fun. So I'm going to
Here
make a simple selection here, and then John's going to let me know
Oh, me?
what the uh, subject should be.
Uh,
So when I
I'd
click
say
generate,
Grimace from McDonald's, but
yeah,
that's
I was just
copyright.
funny. I was just thinking similar. Like
We're
the only
thinking
thing is, I don't
alike.
know if it, like copyrighted
Yeah, no, all
subject.
right, let's see, oh, and we'll have to add a shadow too, 'cause you can't forget. Let's see. All right. Who can it be? Um, I was thinking like a tiny Donald Trump.
I don't know. Should I say
No.
monster? I'll just say monster to begin.
Okay, yeah, little cute monster. Yeah.
It generate. Yeah. Hopefully,
But you
hopefully
just
it's
type in
cute.
monster.
If it's not cute, Andrea will let me know and get angry.
That's right. I bet it will be cute though. Yeah, little monster, little one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater.
Oh,
What? Well, not me. Okay, well,
that's not too cute. It's
horrifying.
very scary.
It was kind of scary. What the? Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna
interesting.
type in cute monster to
Cute
see
monster, cute monster.
cute monster. And so you'll notice that like you have the taskbar at the bottom where I typed in monster and you hit generate. But you'll notice that it also shows up the prompt in the properties panel. So I can just add the word cute and then I hit generate.
Yeah, yeah. You can reselect. That's
Cute
true.
monsters only, says
Cute
Andrea.
monsters only.
And it's not so cute. Okay, the second one is a bit cute though. That's
Well,
weird.
oh, okay.
Looks more like a floating toy though.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Well,
very
that's kind
strange.
of could be cute.
Okay, so I'm gonna put in
Yeah.
a clown instead
Oh, here we go.
and hit generate.
Well, you know how much I love clowns.
And so, and so as long as you're at the like the top layer over in the layers panel, which is like the default to where you were, it should just regenerate. So is this a clown?
Uh,
That's the weirdest looking clown I've
sure.
ever seen.
I think that's a clown from
From outer
Uranus.
space.
Yeah, right.
Okay, happy clown, hit generate. It can get pretty abstract as you can see here.
It can get very surreal.
I think Andrea
Which
said that looks like something from SpongeBob.
it does. Like, yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Okay, that's more of a clown, even though it's kind of floating in a weird way, right?
kind of floating there.
And it really likes this weird abstract.
Yeah, yeah. It's
There we
gonna.
go. That's the next clown to invite to your party.
Okay, Billy.
Scare everyone out.
We
So,
invited Chuckles, the floating clown.
so that's the best we're gonna get.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
So with that, I'm going to return to the room and let John
I
have some
think it was
fun.
that was awesome, man. I
Yeah,
love
some bizarre little creations generative.
it. Pleasant dreams, everyone.
Andrea says he is not coming to my party.
Oh, Andrea, come on. All right, well,
Okay.
let's start with
Here
in
we go, John.
Lightroom Classic. You know it, you love it, and we're gonna just look into some stuff here. I've got some photos here. Very some of them, a couple of these very recent. This one in particular that I did over the weekend. Why am I talking weird? So there's some really cool masking features. I wanted to say tricks because it kind of along that whole magic thing. But if we go over here to in our develop panel, and we go over to the mask, we're going to go create a here. I think I am. Let me unzoom. There we go. There we go. So you have some options here. You can add a new mask. You can select the subject or the sky. In this case, there's really no sky or the background. Or you have other options as well. I think, let's see. Let's start with, we'll just go through some of these and show kind of what they do. And
Let's see how good it is just from the get-go, right?
that's right. Yeah, I mean, it came out really well. And I already did some stuff. I kind of did a little skin smoothing to him. So full disclosure there.
So did you click on subject?
So yeah, I guess we can click on the subject, sure. And as
Yeah,
you see,
nice.
there's it made a little like a perfect mask around him there, and we can adjust his the contrast maybe a little bit. Don't know if it really needs it. I'll probably leave that where it is. Exposure, I guess that's fine. You can make little teeny tiny adjustments. They really add up. Let's see, highlights, probably bring that down just a bit. And again, it's all subjective, what you think you're going for here, what you like. it's your art. I mean, right? As long as the client likes it, then, we're all
It was a
happy.
great mask, though, great
It was a great
subjects.
mask. It selected the
Yeah,
subject perfectly, nice and crisp. So, oh, and here we have some color adjustments we can make. And why
nice.
not? We can, warm them up a little bit. You want to? Too much? Make them orange. Hey,
That's
whee!
right.
Or we can make him a popsicle.
That's right.
So
Blue
yeah,
Man Group. He's now part of the Blue Man Group.
I love the Blue Man Group.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really, fun stuff. But, something tells me his parents wouldn't like him
that's right.
running off and joining. I think they wanted him to go to college first.
And,
So,
Steven says, "I spend more time adjusting lighting in Lightroom than anything else I do.
yeah.
Masking has made it so much easier."
Boy, ain't that the truth, Stephen? I mean, it covers, up my shortcomings as a photographer. But, it's also helped me as a photographer because I know that when I go into a shoot, this is I want to, like, bring a little more light here because I won't have to do quite as much in post, you know? So,
Yeah, nice.
it is it's a win-win. Texture, yeah, you can I don't know, it's real subtle, but if you look here, sorry, I'm zoom impaired here. So you see that, you see his skin kinda softening up a little. I don't know if you can see that or not, but sometimes just a little bit of that can help. I do
Sure.
that especially with some of my females. I'll just bring down the texture just a tiny bit, but,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do it right here because I don't wanna do it, like, across the whole body. I got more to show you.
pretty cool.
And we have sharpness and, oh, Andrew showed me a really cool sharpening technique that we'll talk about later. Can't wait to show you. It
Sure.
blew my mind, Andrew, blew my mind. Where has it been all my life? I can't I'm
And so
ashamed of
easy to
I'm
use,
so
right?
ashamed, but you know what? We're not gonna go there right now. Let's stay on task here.
Cool.
Anyway, so yeah, you have a variety of just a huge assortment of masking options, and you're not stuck with just one mask. You can make more, of course, you know that. We can go here to select subject again. I don't know why we do
Maybe
that.
background, select background this
Select
time?
background. You can do it one of two ways. You can select subject and then invert it, and that's
Nice.
selects your background, or you can just select background like a normal person would. Select sky. Again, we don't really have much sky. There isn't any sky in this picture.
Right.
Background. Select people, and we'll get back to that one because that's my personal
So that's
favorite.
if you had multiple. Okay.
Offers so much flexibility. Objects, brush tool, I use that a whole lot. The brush, because you can go in and just like paint little spots. Here, we'll do one here real quick. All right. Oop. I'm gonna zoom in. And got our brush, see there, and you can use your bracket key to make the brush bigger or the left bracket to make it smaller. And then
Cool.
I'm gonna select just, I don't know,
Maybe that right area on the, brick,
oh,
uh,
okay.
yeah, just how it's kind of brighter than the rest, maybe select that and see if you can
Oh, yeah,
darken
yeah.
that.
I see what you mean. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So, yeah, we
exactly.
can
Just
just
that simple,
a
but
nice soft brush there and don't need to do a whole lot, so let's zoom back out. Okay, and then, yeah, we can just bring the exposure down a
yeah,
little bit,
nice.
maybe tone down the highlights just a tad, and that's probably good. Uh, you do too much and it's
Maybe too much there.
pretty obvious, yeah.
Does a good
Um,
job though, bring down the
fantastic, yeah,
highlights, yeah.
absolutely does.
Blends it a
Uh,
bit so your eye doesn't go to that point.
that's right, that's right. Yeah, I like how the arch kinda frames him, so I wanna kinda keep it
Sure.
intact as much, but you got that bright area behind him that's kind of, framing him. So, oh, and, yeah, you can and what's great in the mask, you can make all these fine tune adjustments, not just, with tone, exposure and so forth, but you can also, uh, adjust color, like
Nice.
desaturate or, warmen or warmen? Warmen. I'm speaking German now. Warm or or cool, that stuff.
Varmin and
Uh, you
Cooling.
know, it's like ramen, but warmen.
Cool.
Linear gradient, that could come in handy, so if you can bring in, one here and, one at a time. So let's say I probably won't keep this, but you can, bring that down, kind of create
Dark
a
that
kind
edge,
of a
yeah.
vignetting effect if you want. Uh, you know, that's if you're so inclined. But
Mm,
probably won't keep that. Oh, and something I'm really bad about. I'm really good about naming my layers in Photoshop, and I need to get better about naming my masks. So this would be subject. So name your layers, folks, and then brick,
yeah, all
you
right.
know, and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm just gonna delete mask 3 because I was just showing you. All
Yeah,
right, so let me
nice.
show you one quick thing here that my personal favorite is select people. So you see here, we got a people. Hey, I
That's the
recognized
first
him.
one.
That's a person. And so click on him, detecting him. Now you got all these options here. Check it out, yo. You
Nice.
got the entire person, or you can just select facial skin. And as if I hover over these, look, you can see that it's showing the parts of the
A
mask.
red
Body
mask.
skin, so his hands are light in his neck,
That was
eyebrows.
really an excellent job though, right? I mean,
It
you don't
is
see
that. Yeah, right?
not leaking out or anything. It seems very solid with the areas.
It's very well behaved, yes.
Sweet.
Iris and pupil, so you see the iris and pupil, we can, brighten those up a little bit. Let's see what happens if we do that. We'll just do like a real quick then we're gonna zoom way in on our guy here. So here we go, let's see. Hmm? Oh, wait, here, let's do that. Oops, hello, come back.
Space bar, maybe?
I thought I was. I just thought I was. I wasn't pushing hard enough.
You gotta
Alright, here we
change
go.
the colors, eye color? Or
Yeah, I was gonna just we can make him,
very a demon, demonic.
um,
Ooh,
well,
demonic.
do something, so there's something kinda called really super subtle. I'm just bringing up just a teensy tiny bit, right here.
Open up the
Maybe
shadows a little bit, yeah.
just a tiny bit, but then you can go back in this mask and you can subtract just a little bit, right? And we get like a little brush, and I just really want the bottom part of his eyes, not the whole eye.
So
So
you're
we'll just get rid
erasing,
of
yeah, I see the minus sign, so you're erasing the tops of the eye selection.
yeah, just erasing a little bit of that. So, I don't know, before, after, it's a tiny, tiny change, but really it's just to kind of show you what's possible. Uh,
Cool.
again, yeah, and we'll go back to our person. Get to our person here, and let's see. Hang on. Oops. Um, well, I lost him. Let's see.
Is that the eyes?
Yeah.
Iris and pupil, I see it underneath, yeah.
Well, I'll just do this because oh, teeth. Okay, so you see, nobody's okay. Let's face it, nobody's teeth are perfect, and we all have to do a little dental
Sure.
work. Mine
The
are
mask makes it look like he's had some,
a little bit of
Ho Hawaiian punch
little
or
Hawaiian punch, yeah, like a little Kool-Aid. So, never bring down the up the exposure because then it just looks like he looks like a TV evangelist.
right.
But we can bring down the, tone down the, saturation. So I do that a lot, and
More subtle, yeah.
it makes them so happy. They think, "Wow, I didn't know I was so pretty." Well, you're not, but, we can't all be as
It's more
pretty as
subtle.
can't be as pretty as Andrew. But yeah, so you see, a little bit of that right there. So, you know, that's the extreme. That's better. So, yeah, so we'll go back out,
Cool.
and you'll say we're happy with that. And yeah, sure, I'm happy with that. So, yeah, all in all, we I think we got a winner, something that
Yeah,
hopefully they're going to be happy with. But I love the select person thing because you see how accurate it is. I mean,
excellent.
down to the eye sclera and everything.
Cool.
But it's great for dental work. Because otherwise you got to make a little selection the old-fashioned way, which is fine, but this makes it faster. How about
Nice.
zoo animals? Yeah. And I guess there's more masking to be had, but I think that you get the idea. And so I'm
Yeah.
gonna shoot
You want
that
to show other? You got to show other features, right?
All right, I can't hog the whole night.
You love that phrase. I'll
I
be
do.
hogging it.
I
Okay.
do.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty
I
cool.
know it.
So
Yeah.
let's see. So one thing I realized I did not show,
Uh-oh.
and let me just make sure that I grab my little prompt here.
Oh. Steven said, I can't light zoo animals. I missed that. That's just funny. Yeah, I need to make a trip to the zoo.
And then let's see, Finder. So I'm going to do some color grading in Adobe Camera Raw, but I also want to just show something with the generative fill. So one thing I didn't show is, when you're in generative fill, you can remove, different people, and then you can also create scary clowns and monsters that float in space. But two little things I did not show you is if I do just a simple Command N for new, and let's see, whatever, just any custom size. I'm just going to say generative fill. No, I didn't want that size. I was like, any size will do except for that size. I don't know why it switched. Like I had it 2048 by 2048. I don't know why it looked like it was a banner.
Oh, interesting. Huh.
So generative fill.
Well, because we're on a live stream, it's going to misbehave when we're live. So.
Yeah, maybe it's like the last thing I worked on was a banner, so maybe I clicked on that. But yeah, here's 2048 by 2048, just a simple new background.
You're here. I'm going to add you to your stage.
It's what?
Okay. I'm showing your screen.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And so it wasn't showing before?
It wasn't.
Okay. Great. Thank you. So yeah. So here it is. And what happens is if you were to do a Command All and it selects everything, then what happens is if you go down to the generative fill in the taskbar, that's where you can post a prompt. And of course, it's not posting. Oh, there it is. I might have posted it twice. So let me go back. Command A, generative fill. There it is. Okay, so now I can see it. And then when I hit generate, I've described something realistic. And so it's like, quaint stone Irish cottage with plush green hills behind at golden hour. And you'll notice that when you go over to the properties panel, and let me just do F so I can just focus on this image.
That's so
pretty. When you go to
pretty.
the properties panel, you get 3 different variations. So you get this kind of pretty cool, right? So that one I like a lot. So, and then just to clarify, when you use, generative fill inside Photoshop to create something like this, it's photo related. It is Adobe reaching out to their stock library and using Adobe stock to create these images. So just wanted to show that. And then one last thing with generative fill before I go into color grading. When we have an image like this, if I were then to choose the crop tool and I go up to the options bar, so mine is defaulting or to generative expand. If it said like background, you would switch it to generative expand. And then when I zoom back out, you can see the bounding box of the crop tool. If I then hold just the option key on a Mac, Alt on a PC, and I pull out the sides, and then it's not automatic. You do have to go back up. And even though it says generative expand, you do have to hit the check mark. Then it'll generate and it'll expand this landscape, hopefully seamlessly.
Don't you just want to go there and like have tea?
I just watched a movie with Demi Moore that was kind of like a ghost movie, but she moved to like Scotland or Ireland or something. It was very much like this. But this
Mm,
is pretty amazing. So like if you go over
very
here and I go to
wow.
the properties panel, first if I turn it off, that's before, that's after. It builds the wall, it builds
Yeah.
this other little kind of sidewall fence, it builds a mount. Pretty amazing.
That's so cool.
And then if I click here, it's just another variation with slightly different kind of wall. Um, Once again, it's always hard for me to choose because I think it does a great job each step of the
Yeah,
way.
terrific.
Um, and
You
then
know,
if
it
I
would really make that as a floating scary clown, but, that's okay.
That's right, no floating scary clowns in this in this version.
I like
So
it.
yeah, pretty amazing though.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then I can just do like simple save into my,
Yes, save
um,
that.
I'll say generative fill Ireland, and then just
There you
save
go.
it as a Photoshop
Yeah,
layer.
yeah.
Okay, so that's
So
that.
cool. Hmm.
Then I wanted to show like color grading. So here is one of my AI digital arts that I created in the past, and I wanted to show some of the cool color grading features right through Adobe Camera Raw in Photoshop. So as you can see, it's background layer. And then if I just do a Command J, I create a new layer. Now, the thing to know is if you are going to go to filter, Camera Raw, and then make any changes and it's on that new layer and that's it, you're fine and you'll save it, great. But if you think you might be going back and forth, you're working on something for a client or customer, um, what I would advise is you right click and you convert it to a smart object. And then when you can do that, you'll notice that there becomes a new icon that just is like the smart object icon. And then when you go to filter, camera raw, and say I do something like I just change the temperature and I hit OK,
Mm,
you'll notice that that becomes an automatic smart filter. So I can
mm.
turn it on, turn it off, and then you'll see that's connected to the camera raw filter. So all I have to do is double click and I get back, and I could double click the tab, and then therefore it'll be back to 0. So I didn't want to deal with temperature, so I'm good. And then here you go. Here comes the magic of digital art, Drew, says Andrea. So yeah, so if I go down to color grading, I already have this image that's very blue with a little bit of warmth, but I wanted add some of my own kind of new color to it. So the first thing is you notice when you get down to color grading, you click to expand, and just to let people know, I am working panel by panel because I went to the top, and when you go over to these dots, where is it? These dots, or is it here? Can't remember where they keep moving stuff around, but I thought you could just right click and then you could choose like solo mode. So I wanted to show that
Oh,
that option. I don't
but
see it here though. Do you think it's
I'm not
here?
familiar with solo
Okay,
mode.
so here it is. Oh, so
Okay,
just click the
yeah,
cog
okay,
at the top, click the cog at the top right, and then under general, it's set to edit panel behavior. So I have it set to single. So it's as
gotcha.
I'm working, you're just seeing the color grading panel.
Oh,
Um,
yeah,
so if I
very
go to
cool.
detail, you just see detail.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then you just go, okay,
Keeps it
and
nice and
then
clean.
yeah, nice and clean, nice and focused. And
Yeah,
then when I do the color grading itself, there's this view that shows all three, but I kind of like the larger color wheels. So if I click here, there's my shadows. Click there, that's my midtones, and there is my highlights.
okay.
Um, so there's two main ways of working where you can either choose the specific areas of that kind of tonal range, or you can click globally.
Mm,
So first, I'm just going to try this one. So for highlights, instead of this, light blue, maybe I'll add some green. Now, if you click green and you're at the edge of the color wheel, you'll notice that the saturation is 96. Or if
yeah,
I bring it all the way to the end, it's 100. You can also move the slider itself, and you'll notice that that little circle moves towards the center. So if I move this all the way towards the center, the saturation is 0. So you can either just click on the circle in the color wheel and move that around to choose
mm,
your color and the intensity of saturation, or you can move this slider accordingly.
mm,
So in this case, I don't want it to overtake the image. So I'm just going to click on it and bring it kind of slight midway.
Hmm.
And then for the shadows, the darker areas, maybe I'll do like a magenta or a purple. So a
Yeah,
little bit of a purple touch in the shadows.
sure.
And since it's shadows, it's all right when it's a higher saturation, but let me just see what it looks like when I bring it back. So yeah, it's still kind of nice. So if I
Yeah.
bring it midway, it's kind of blending well. But even if I go all the way, it's good. It's just if less saturation I have, the more you breeze a little bit, you can see some of the details. So I kind of midway. Um, but now when I look at it, it looks like the highlights could go for being a little bit more green. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, and then I could go to midtones, and then just for the sake of change, it might be I can add a little orange. That might be a little too strong. But now it's getting really psychedelic if I do that. So I
Yeah.
kind of like
I
that.
mean, not terrible. I like it.
Yeah, I kind of like it almost reminds me like I should have like 3D glasses on.
Yeah.
See. So yeah, that's color grading. And then if I hit OK, you'll notice that there it is under smart filters. So I can turn it on, turn it off. If I were to
Mm.
double click camera raw filter, I'm back. It takes me right
Ooh,
to color grading where I can tweak it. And then if I go back to cancel, you'll also notice there's this white square, which when I click on it, you'll see a frame around it. It is a layer mask. So if I switch black as my foreground color, I've got my brush and I set the flow to like, I don't know, 50, then I can look at my image and I can turn it off and say, okay, well, what do I like that was before? And maybe I want some of the highlights to come through. So I make sure I'm clicked back on the layer mask. There's a frame around, black is the foreground color. And then when I paint with black as the foreground color, it'll bring back those kind of highlighted light blue areas to
cool.
the highlighted area.
Yeah.
And that's, what I tend to do with some of the AI art is I like to put in an extensive prompt to get what I want, but then I like to personalize it by changing the color grading on a lot of my images.
Right.
And so if I turn that off again, I might say, okay, well, maybe some of these center of the fractal circles. Oops. Okay, so that's a good point. So I don't know how it created a new empty layer. I thought it was still in the smart filter,
Yeah.
but just be aware
Steven.
that, sometimes when you click off, it automatically creates a new layer. So I hit delete. Once again, you click so it has a frame around the smart filter layer mask. So
Right.
then now when I paint with black as foreground color,
Cool.
it brings back that light blue to those specific areas.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Stephen brought up an interesting topic of discussion. One of these days we can maybe play around with texture clarity, dehaze, etc.
Sure. We should probably do
Maybe
a whole session on, say,
anytime the
camera
truth.
raw, right? You and me take turns in camera raw.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great idea. I love that masks come out
Come with just about
yeah,
anything to allow
to give you more
growth.
control.
Absolutely. So you can
Yeah.
see, the little preview over on the right, those little black spots are where I have painted into the mask to reveal the light blue underneath.
Mm.
So let me go back. Yep. So before, after, and yeah. So I'm just going to save
Masking,
that as a variation.
blend modes, masking. Man, where would we be without that?
And then real quick, I wanted to show you the other option for color grading, which is here I am. I'm just going to do a simple layer 1, Command J. And then once again, might as well, for good practice, make Dave Cross happy. He likes to work non-destructively, so convert to smart object.
That's right.
And then if I go up to filter, camera raw filter, and I go back to color grading, so it remembers the last thing I did. So I'm right there already in color grading. I now want to show you what happens if you choose global. So if I choose global, you have just one color wheel. And so if I say, you know what, maybe I want a bit more green overall. If I hit green, boom. So that's, too high. So I'm at, that's 100 saturation. But as I pull the circle towards the middle, I can just have a touch of it.
Oh
So I
boy.
can have a little bit touch of it, especially like on the face. So where the face used to be blue, I can now have a touch of the green. Um, So it does kind of pick up, even though it says global, it picks up and distributes the color mostly, I've noticed, in the highlighted or
I
light
it
areas,
seems that okay, I thought it was just my perception, but yeah, it is.
right?
Yeah.
Like, you don't see it in, like, the mid-tones so much. It's not mixing with the reds, it's more like the
Mhm.
highlighted area.
Yeah, you still see the octopus and the little fish up
Yeah,
there for the most part.
and then if I hit OK, and then I save it and I come back, it'll save all the smart filter, which I can turn on, turn off, and then I could once again go to the built-in layer mask with a brush, and I could say, let's let the
Oh, yeah.
eyes kind of breathe and the lips
Yeah.
breathe,
Yeah, yeah.
and I could even make a larger brush, and where the highlights are, I could get rid of some of it just to kind of keep it more balanced.
That's
Yeah,
right. Non-destructively.
yeah, and then just save that. There we go. And let me come back to the room so I'm not hogging the whole thing. Okay.
That's right. Oh, shush. Stop. All right.
Andrea says, I work non destructively too. My military students cannot destroy pixels.
That's right. Whoop, whoop.
See.
Well, yeah.
Okay. So jumping back into Lightroom with
Yeah.
John. Here we
Okay.
are. Okay,
Why
cool.
not? Let's talk about a new feature, brand new. It's kind of a beta feature, technically, but it's an early release thing, if you will.
Cool.
So here I have a picture of some brave men. Now they look all tough and brooding here. Don't let that fool you. They're actually really really nice guys. I told them to look all serious because we're making a poster for a TV show or something here. Um, and so yeah. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna go back into the develop module tab, whatever you want to call it, and this would be under that section. And if you scroll down to here, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see it, or I'll try. Well, I
Can
seem
you
to
do that zoom in? Yeah.
there we go.
Nice.
I just had my finger on the wrong button. But yeah, it's an early access thing. So it means it's kind of like it's kind of in
So,
beta.
John,
Yeah.
Andrea says it looks just like a TV show photo.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. I appreciate that. It was pretty cool. This is kind of how it came out of camera pretty much. So
Cool.
um
Okay. So you're
obviously
in lens blur.
so this is a lens blur. So say we wanted to have a shallower depth of field here, and think of the possible applications for this. This would be great for a portrait or something. But I thought, what would it do for like a group picture? We're going on this journey together. I haven't tried this yet with a group like this. So I'm going to click apply, and it's analyzing. Adobe Sensei working in the back. It didn't take very long at all, and that's not too shabby right there,
Yes,
right?
a slight blur in the background, right?
Pretty good, and you see that it actually determined, okay, that's farther back than that is. The fire truck is back a little further, but not as far as, say, like that door or whatever. What's really neat is it's creating a depth map, like a 3D depth map, and you can visualize, like, here's the stuff that's most in focus. We have our captain who's in the front, so he's probably the most in focus, but you can adjust that depth there. Whoa, how
Mm,
cool is
cool.
that? So you can make it like super shallow depth of field, or you can kind of widen it a little bit, make it maybe a little more realistic, I think,
Nice.
with just a little touch of it. But so something along that. And you see, it's not perfect. It missed a little bit right there, but you can go in and mask stuff. But all right, okay, well, so we'll turn that off and we'll see how it looks. So yeah, pretty good. I think I'm gonna
Andrea says super cool.
tone it down just a little bit. So it's just a little bit. It's very subtle, I think, a little more subtle. If you stretch it out here, there's barely. See, if I stretch it out all the way, there's no blur.
Right.
So let's just do like a little bit. I think would really kind of be convincing. Whatever. But yeah, if you wanted, you can have like a super narrow depth of field. Be kind of weird. But I think that's a great new feature, and
Yeah.
you can have a lot of fun playing with that. Oh, and
Isolate the background nicely,
A couple more things here. Yeah, it does. It kind of makes the background a little more, gives you that nice creamy background that we all love so much. And you could also change the bokeh. So if you have like light in the background, I don't know if you'll be able to see the subtle differences, but like this light here,
Right.
it will change the shape of that. Of course, you can boost it a little bit if you want. But say you have like, I wish I had a picture of Christmas lights. That would be a great example. It'd be very pronounced. You'd be able to tell bokeh. Photography people know bokeh. It's just like out of focus light in the background. That is a
Cool.
phenomenon that the lens creates. I hope I said that right. You could also create. You could like this little. Click on this little. What do you want to call it? Little.
Target
Target
icon.
is the word I was looking for. Target, like the store. You could click on this target here. Well, ideally, you can. Oh, I click on. Let's click on our subject. Now I'll click on. Yeah. Oops. There we go. So let's say I want him to be front
Can
and
you
center.
zoom in a little though? You zoomed
Oh
out.
yeah. Sorry, I did zoom out, didn't I? Let's see. We'll
Or
just
zoom in the image itself. Yeah.
yeah, zoom in.
There we go. Yeah.
So you see that I clicked on his
Andrea
face.
calls target Target.
Target because it's more fancy that way. So anyway,
Cool. Nice control it has, right?
it does. It gives you a good bit. And again, you can just like make it super subtle, really, and you still achieve wonderful, lovely
Andrea
results.
says you're an amazing photographer, John.
I am not amazing, but you are an amazing person, Andrea, and I appreciate your amazing comment. Thank you.
Sweet.
But anyway, yeah, blur,
Pretty
lens
cool.
blur, new in Lightroom and Lightroom Classic.
Cool. So shall I jump over to Photoshop again?
You better.
Okay, so let's see. Also wanted to, yeah, 2 new images to bring in. This will probably be best for it.
These are pretty.
Yeah, different. I think these might have been created with Bing Image Creator, but right. So bringing this image. So I wanted to go over the adjustment layers. So adjustment presets, I should say.
Oh yeah.
But they are technically adjustment layers as well. So what happens now is, go to Window, Adjustments, and it'll look something like this, where you have a series of adjustment presets, and then it says More, and then your presets, and then single adjustments. So, in the past, it used to be more like the single adjustments where you'd have hue, saturation, curves, levels, all that. So the minute you click on, say, curves, you can change the curves of your photo, and then there it is on its own adjustment layer in your layers panel. So you can turn it on, turn it off. There's a built-in layer mask, etc.,
Hmm.
or you can just delete it. But now when you go back, if you go to the top where it says adjustment presets and you hit more, then you get this nice range of different
What?
presets. Yeah,
Yeah.
creative presets.
Cool.
And let's see if I click here. Yeah. So if I click here, the top icon, it goes from this kind of list view to more like an icon view.
Neat.
So whatever you feel comfortable. The one thing I do like about the list view is it does give you the name of what it's doing. So in this view, it just says portraits, and I'm just kind of, I guess when you hover, you do get the name, but it's kind of cut off.
Hmm.
So I think I'm more of a fan of list view. But as you hover, and just similar to like presets, the way they work in Lightroom, when you hover, you get a preview as you go. So sunshine was that golden and warmth. Then we got a moody blue. Then we got classic black and white,
I love that.
darker.
That's so
Yeah, so
cool.
they're very good effects or presets just by a simple kind of hover and then click if you want it. So color
Yeah.
pop, warm contrast. We have faded. So I kind of like faded. And then when I do that, and you'll see, like, especially in
Yeah.
the kimono, that the intensity of that goes down, as well as the kind of skin color. Um, and then because it has a built-in layer mask, I can always click on that. You see the frame around it. And then I could always choose a brush, maybe not that large, just left bracket, make it smaller. I turn it off first to see, and then I see, okay, well, where might I want to bring color back? So I like it being faded, but I might want to bring in that flower in the top left, I might want to bring that back. So I just go in, and then with black as my foreground color, I just paint, and then that's kind of like, back to the original vibrant, saturated part. And I can do that in different areas where I can just do touch of color, in your
Oh,
eyes
yeah.
and the lips or something. But I
Yeah.
like the faded look. But as I go back, I'm just going to turn that off. If I go back to the adjustments, you'll see that you have so many, so you have, and then, sepia. So I always like sepia tone. Okay. So someone asked, I missed where you found the presets. So in general, whenever you want to work with a panel, if you go under window, you have all your different panels you can choose. And so that's just adjustments, the third one down. And then this comes up. And originally it will look like this. So it'll have just what looks like 5 presets. And then it says more, and then your presets, and then single adjustments. And then to get to this whole range, you just hit more, and then you have all of these. So if I go sepia, then you have a sepia tone. And then, of course, when you do that, because it's its own layer collection, so it's a mixture of color balance and a mixture of black and white conversion. Um, but it's in its own folder grouping. So you can turn it on, turn it off. Once again, you have the layer mask. But since it's working together as a group, I can just go to the opacity and pull that down to kind of change the strength of it. So I can let a little bit of color through, but have this nice sepia tone color coming through. And then since I've done some of that work already.
Oh, wait, Andrew, can I ask the second part of the answer the second part of the question?
Which is
This
what?
will be replayed, so you can go back on
Yes.
YouTube or Facebook.
Right.
Yeah,
So yeah, these are always recorded. And then if you found this from the Facebook group, it will be posted to the top of the group. Otherwise, at the end, I will remind people to subscribe to my Drew Cav YouTube channel. It used to be Digital Art Drew. I changed it to Drew Cav, so I have to remind myself. Drew Cav, that's it.
Okay.
All right. So, but once I do this, and I've brought the opacity down, so I've kind of personalized it a little bit. If I then go back to the adjustments, and I go back to the view all, there's a section for your presets. Just once you have that layer adjustment over here selected, you go to your presets, you click on the plus sign, and then I'm just going to say faded sepia or faded sepia tone. And then when I hit save, if I were to go and then delete this adjustment layer, so I'm back to the original.
Yeah.
And I just go to adjustments. If you expand where it says your presets, you now see faded sepia tone. When I click on it, and there it is.
Very
The only
cool.
thing I've noticed is I'm not sure why, but it didn't seem to take my it didn't take the opacity change.
Oh,
So
okay.
it is
Okay.
kind of new, so maybe it's a bit of a bug.
Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully
But
we'll get
I thought
better.
it was going to take I had it set to 64 or 70 or something. I thought it was going
Interesting.
to take that. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Huh.
but I think you have to play around with it. But the thing to learn is you could technically apply, some of the regular
Right.
single adjustments and the adjustment preset creative ones. You could
Yeah.
have a series of 3. And if you, let me just do it just to show you. Let's see,
That's pretty cool.
something ugly. So I'll do something, extreme, but I think yeah. So if you have cinematic tone, and inside that is, yeah. So these are the different things that create the cinematic tone. But I believe that if I even had cinematic tone and faded tone, um, I could go back to adjustments. I could say plus, and since both are selected, I could call it cinematic and faded as an example. Let me just capitalize the F, hit save, and then if I delete both of these, and I go back to the original, and I go back to adjustments, you can see cinematic and faded. So when I click on it, it does add all those different elements. So
That's nice.
yeah.
Love that, man. So
Yep.
cool.
Any questions?
Yeah, well, the one question, the YouTube channel again is Drew Cav, DREWKAV. I'm sorry, I'm stealing your thunder, Andrew.
No, I like it. Thank you. So yeah, and now we'll be talking about that. So John, did you have a little bit more of some Lightroom
Well,
tips? And then
you
we
caught
can,
me
then I
drinking.
can give shout outs to where we are online.
That's right. You caught me drinking on the job. Hang on just a second. All right. Yeah. Now, this is the thing I was talking about that was a mind blower. And I mean, you kind of downplayed it, but I thought it was super cool. Speaking of super cool, this is my high school senior, Sam.
Cool.
This is my man, Sam, and I'm
Sam.
so proud of Sammy. He's like a genius. He won't admit it, but the kid's like on another level.
Cool.
And what really
So what does he want to go into in college? What
well,
does he
it's
focus on?
funny you should you just set me up for that, man. Thank you for you just set up the pins. I'm just going to mull them down. He's well, thank you. That's very sweet. I mean, I'm biased, you know, but
That's right.
he wants to. The boy wants to do what I do for a living, and I think he's going to be amazing at it. He's already an Adobe certified professional.
Oh, great.
Not even graduated yet, so he's on his way. He's going to do great.
But maybe he'll also get into engineering of some sort too, or something.
Knowing him, he probably like come out with the next generation of AI stuff. Who knows?
Cool.
You never know.
Excellent. All the best.
So,
All the best to him.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I appreciate it, man.
So what are you going to show us here?
Oh, Andrew, this made you made my month.
Okay. So where are you in the panels?
All right. Where am I in the panel? I don't know. Where am I? Okay.
Deep. It looks like.
Actually, we want to go back to detail. I'm just closing everything here.
Yep.
Detail. We want to go to detail. See, hey, with detail, and you have sharpening. Burp, 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 burp. So I'm going to zoom in, and you really see its full effect if I zoom in on a particular area. So if I may, I'm just going to zoom in on the whole thing. Yep. Sam, where'd you go, buddy? There you are. Cool. There's Sammy. So I'm happy with this picture, but I feel like it could use maybe just a little bit of sharpening around the eyes, maybe just a bit, maybe. I wouldn't mind that. So you could just do that, and just sharpens like everything like that. Yeah, it's kind of barbaric. But the gentleman's way to do it is if you hold down, if you're on Mac, an option, and you're on a PC Alt, hold down Option key, and you want to hold down the masking button, and drag the slider up that way. That way you're not sharpening the whole flipping thing. You're just getting that kind of those areas you want to.
Which white or black is being sharpened? Which is which?
I believe white is being sharpened.
Right.
Yes.
Nice.
So isn't that cool?
It's a great preview. I like the way it really isolates, shows you what's being sharpened.
And Andrew, I must apologize. You've gone over this before, and I just somehow missed it. And then hearing about it today just made me so happy. So we'll just bring it up a little bit. I mean, it's a tiny, subtle change, but I mean, does it make the picture better? Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah. It's nice to have that control too, you know.
It does. That fine-tuned control, which we love so much. Cool. And that's really all there is to that. But I mean, that's a wonderful thing. I can also, oops. I just kind of want to do, oops.
Yeah, just that's the showing
that's
the
preview window there. Anyway, yeah, you can bet that I'll be playing around with this quite a bit in the very near future. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was a nice grouping of favorite features from Photoshop and Lightroom that we shared. So hopefully people will enjoy that. And yes, as a reminder, And I'll get to that soon. But yeah, as a reminder, the recording will be on my YouTube, youtube.com/DrewCav or DrewCav on YouTube. And so give a shout out to where you can find us online. So you can find John on Facebook at Pixelingo Media. Give him a follow, give him a like. On Behance.net at Pixelingo. On Instagram at PixelingoJW. And then I was going to say, not only to see the recording, but please subscribe for more Photoshop and Lightroom or AI art and digital art focused live streams and tutorials.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe on my youtube.com at DrewCav. All those words.
Is that your scotch and soda?
Water. I am going to an art opening later, though. Get some nice wine.
Here, I'll take over. I'll take over.
Okay, youtube.com/@DrewCav. So, yeah, it's my new one at DrewCav instead of Digital Art Drew. And DrewCav on YouTube. And then come follow, like, my digital artist Andrew Kavanagh page on Facebook. That's facebook.com/digitalartistdrew. And you may have been watching this through the Photoshop and Lightroom group on Facebook. Otherwise, come join. We just passed 385,000 members today. Photoshop and Lightroom group, facebook.com/groups, Photoshop Lightroom group. And then if you are a fan of AI art and digital art, come join the AI art and digital art group on Facebook, facebook.com/groups, AI art, digital art. Me and John are both admins there as well. And then a shout out to my friend Heinrich's Adobe Firefly group. So facebook.com/groups, Adobe Firefly. And it looks like we got some comments. So John is a model poser.
I am a poser.
Levon says, thank you for the tips and entertainment. Popcorn, yellow stripe smile. Sweet.
Yeah. Glad you were here.
Andrew says this was a great way to spend a Friday evening.
I agree, with friends.
That's right. So yeah, I thought it was fun mix of showing what our favorite features are for Photoshop and Lightroom. And I think me and John are going to be doing an Fun with Adobe Express live next Friday. So keep your eye out for that on all the social networks. Sound good, John?
It sounds like a wild and wacky time. Sign me up.
Thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to check in the groups for the top featured post for the recording. Otherwise, please consider subscribing and watching the live events, past recordings on my DrewCav channel on YouTube. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
And we have woohoo, says Levon.
Woo.